everybody. Good to be with you. Thanks for coming out to OpenShift Commons. Thanks for having us. My name is James Labaki. I'm a Senior Director of Product Management at Red Hat, and I'm joined by David and Mubashir. You want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is David Barreda. I'm from the Volkswagen Group of America organization. I've been there for the last 7 years on the infrastructure side, and now helping the teams to head onto the OpenShift platform.
Yeah, Mubashir. I'm from Volkswagen Group of America. I think I've been with the Volkswagen for like almost 15 years. I've done multiple gigs at Volkswagen in automation, innovation, and everything. These days, I'm actually enterprise architect working on cloud and security stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, so today we want to just kind of walk through their application modernization with journey with OpenShift. David, you want to take us through some of the history?
Sure. So as you might know, Volkswagen Group of America is a subsidiary of Volkswagen AG in Germany. So we support multiple brands such as Volkswagen, Audi, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini, and other ones. We are headquartered at Hernon, Virginia, and our IT organization is located in Auburn Hills, Michigan. One of our plants, our plant here in the US is the one at Chattanooga, Tennessee. And overall, we support all the North American region, meaning Canada, Mexico, and the US. We have over 20 facilities across the US, so there's a lot of data centers, small data centers, a lot of smaller organizations that we support on their journey to head where they need to be on the IT side.
Yeah. Anybody here own a Volkswagen or Audi? I'm curious. Anybody own a Bugatti or a Lamborghini?
Awesome.
I'd also like to know. No? I'm looking out. All right, great. Cool.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit about which are the main goals when we try to head to the OpenShift platforms. One of them, it was standardization, so making sure that everyone uses the same tool set, the same knowledge, that we can leverage the same architecture guidelines across all the environments. As consequence of this, improving the collaboration across the teams, because now everyone is using the same, share the same knowledge, and that gains speed and agility. So all comes down to saving money and driving all the knowledge that usually goes a little bit wider with multiple technologies to a single one, or a single path to head there. So yesterday was go cloud first. That doesn't mean public cloud. That means a mix of private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud. Automation and innovation, being able to allow our developers to do what they do best, which is developing code. So enabling them to make sure that the code is deployed in a singular way, that they adopt the best practices to the organization, and they don't deviate from the security standards. And now we're on the last part of the alignment, which is embrace the artificial intelligence, which is the one that will take us to the next steps through all the new mobility options that are coming forward. So part of the journey was getting the OpenShift platform in place, making sure that the data center is able to do so, that we are able to be consistent and reliable when it comes to it. Then the application modernization program that we run in order to keep everything up to date. And having this foundation of security guidelines, this foundation of application deployment methods. And so I'll talk a little bit about what we achieved here. So we try to get the digital journey started and making sure that we can go into the hybrid platform, accelerating the application development, improving times, the build cycles, and the release cycle. So we make sure that the release management is handled the same way for everyone, optimizing the cost by reducing tooling and making it more reliable and more solid, being able to detect the vulnerabilities quickly and being able to remediate it within certain SLAs that we put for ourselves in order to make everyone happy in the organization. Also, the traceability and observability, everything is super cool because now everyone knows where to go. Everyone doesn't need to, oh, for this application we use this tool, or we need to do something different. Everything is in a consistent place, everything looks the same, and for the developer experience, it doesn't really matter what they are doing. increase the security and audit, just like we use the same tooling for everything. So it comes down to that reduction in tooling. So take it off, Mosher.
Yeah, so I think David talked about a lot of things. To build a platform, you have to build a platform plus the ecosystem, and also onboard a lot of teams and organizations under one umbrella if you want to modernize, so have a roadmap for it. So how did we start? Is basically we started with things which can be modernized first, and then set up some ecosystems in place. So CI/CD pipelines and other things, right? Apart from that, we have to go back and look at what sets of applications you want to take it. So we need to have some type of selection criteria. So we decided to move them into 4 different things. Like one was functional complexity. What is the size of the application? What is the business processes embedded in it to support the business? And then we try to put them in like high, medium, and low type of scales. And then also in terms of operations, like what application has a lot of incidents or a lot of problems for the customers, right? That was also, and what is how fast this application needs to have a release cycle. That was one of the things we actually use as one of our scales. Other thing was technical currency, like what is the current platform? What is its architecture? What software does this application runs? And is there any technical debt? Is this a legacy application? Do we have to change things out of it? And most important was the business criticality, right? This application, which one needs to go to like containerized platform with no downtime and other things. Like legacy wise, we have downtimes, we have patches and everything. So that was one of the things. Once we have some parameters, we try to have a maturity parameter scale, and then we try to come up with the list of applications.
So I have 2 quick questions for you here. First is, you mentioned kind of the ecosystem. How did you choose ecosystem projects? Like I know you mentioned Anchor, for example, as being one of them.
Yeah, so I think one of the important things that we have to, when we are building a platform, is we have to design the whole ecosystems to bring customers to it. So, and then when you look at the CI and CF, nowadays you will have at least 15 products doing the same thing. So one of the things we wanted to have was to have a very good security, vulnerability detection in our pipeline. So we had to list out all the products that we want. And the selection criteria for that product was based on how, what is the community of this product, who's using it. And I think when we choose one of the products, we saw that even the State Department was using it, which means like it has gone through a lot of good security auditing.
Yeah, that's great. The only other quick question is, how did you guys create these? This kind of assessment?
Yeah,
it's been an evolving process.
Yeah. So basically, we wish we had like MTA type of toolings that you already have right now. But unfortunately, when we were doing this like 2-3 years ago, it has to be a manual process where we actually visit every organization and like department, subject matter experts who knows about the application, even developers, and also the process owners and everything. So we had to do a lot of those work.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right.
Awesome.
So I talked about this in the first slide itself, right? So basically consider any OpenShift implementation or containerized implementation just not by just a platform, but it's actually the whole ecosystem you have to build. And then when you are actually moving the needle in an organization, the most important thing is you need to have a trust between different people, because things are going to change and they will have a very specific mindset of how we are going to do this, right? So it's better if we learned this the hard way, but that is one of our approaches and journey that you can learn from it, is to define the RAS case, right? Because lot of people in the organization. If you go and say, this we are not doing manually, we are not generating a file manually or something, the developer and the organization will be a little bit skeptical, right? So we have to tell them, by losing this, you will gain some other aspect of it. You will actually get to do what you like to do. Like, you need to code, then you can do that. If you're in a business process, then you actually can do that. And also there would be like tussle if you have a DevSecOps. So it's better we have a RASCI definition early on. You have to have enhanced partnership, because this is a platform. Like, historically, legacy applications or infrastructures were based on very specific teams and specific skill sets. But when you're doing containerization, when you're doing OpenShift and ecosystem, you need a lot of skill sets. So which means that you need contribution from all the teams, all hands on deck type of thing. So that is why you need a lot of partnerships. And there would be a time when we first started our journey, we had the platform, but no application was coming in. So there would be a time of you have to survive decreased velocity, because you will not get 1 or 2 applications until you get some like good like word around, or the marketing period.
I think it was more about getting the credibility from the organization and making sure that the applications were able to run reliably on the platform.
Yes.
And now that they have experience of other applications working well there and seeing all the gains for coming to the platform, everyone excited about getting their application out there.
Yeah. That's so. At first, you won't get that. So, and then also think about the future model, how you want to do this in the future. What would be the team currently it is, and what would be the team supporting later.
Yeah, that's great.
So, I think James asked the question, how did we do it? We have to go to the domain experts. We have to go to the application teams. We had like list of all the applications in our.
Roughly how many applications was it? It was
close to 100.
Okay.
Is where, and then we have to go through each and every organization, sales organization, like marketing and everything. And then we came up with this criteria and option. We gave some weights to each application, and then they will have like what we want to do about these applications. Do we want to rehost, refactor, replatform, rebuild, repurchase, or you just retire, consolidate, or just retain as is. So that was the whole framework for it.
And roughly, how many of the applications of the 100 have you modernized onto OpenShift?
20%.
Okay, today.
And a mix of like critical applications and non-critical applications.
Okay, back off. Great. Cool. So just quick plug. If you guys have not heard of it, there's a project that Red Hat started based on people needing help modernizing their applications. It's called Conveyor. I don't know, have any of you heard of it? It's in the CNCF. It's a sandbox project. So this is where Red Hat's been making an investment, and we're looking to partner with folks around this upstream community. So it actually uses Microsoft's language server protocol to do static code analysis of applications and then determine what changes need to be made. So it's doing pattern matching. We have a number of partners and other people who are actually looking to contribute rules. We have rule set for Java, but we're also developing one for Python, for .NET. So if you're interested, happy to talk to you about it. We're on #Conveyor on Slack, or you can join the community list. But the idea here being that we recognize this is a problem. The platform is only good if you can actually move the apps onto it, and that's something a lot of times I think we often forget. So.
All right. So I'll talk a little bit about the challenges that we had when heading into the platform. So, probably the first one was that we had a project that wanted to go to the platform, and that project had certain timeline, and the platform wasn't there. So the platform wasn't eligible for being the target of this application. And then we had the platform build and no applications because no one has been there. So it was kind of like the egg and the chicken, sort of. Then there was a lack of coordinations between the teams, doing overspending and rework. Like some of them were doing Chef, some of them doing Ansible, and a bunch of other tooling. And we wanted to consolidate all of those efforts into building something that could be maintainable in the future. So we as part like from the infrastructure side where I'm mostly involved, it was like, do we do user provisioned infrastructure? Do we do the installer provisioner infrastructure? Do we do which kind of network do we want to use? Which is our storage provider? So all of those things were little challenges that, for example, application users were not usually, they didn't usually have been involved in that process. So in this side, we take into account all the needs, and we made sure that they were fulfilled. And part of the solutions was to make, let's say, a virtual team of the champions of all these organizations, and making sure that we have a strong partnership with that part of the organization. So they were involved. All the decisions were taken, also taking their thoughts into account, and making all the workshops, internal trainings, and certifications. So we run some program where people were getting certified with CKAs or CKDs or the OpenShift training. So all of that helped to build this team, and then we started doing education training with the developers and other parties being involved. Also with the help of Red Hat on getting some trainings and making sure that we knew about the new products coming in the pipeline. You want to?
Yeah, I think David covered pretty much most of the key learning challenges and solutions, right? So you need to have a strong key. I think one of the important thing is you need to have somebody in the management who actually listen to this roadmap, or I think you have to sell this to like a strong key holder to run through all these projects. I think that was one of the important things we also learned. And then basically if go and try to come up with an enterprise solution and strategy, rather than, because when we went to different teams and started talking about do you guys want to do containerization or modernization of your applications, everybody had some type of strategy, right?
Yeah.
So we have to bring everybody back and explain like this is like not the right strategy or something. Then we have to come up with our own templates and stuff like that for specific application. Like so, and also we when we started, we like I was talking, we had to come up with a focused area, right? So apart from all the selection criteria that we have discussed, we also went and tried to be successful. We went to a particular organization and a particular technology like Java or something. We picked up that, and we didn't pick up like most complex application, because we first want to get everybody accustomed and comfortable with the platform and technology and pipelines and everything. So we started with that. So, and also basically you need to be ready to pivot, because when we were doing all these things, there were times when we had to move around, listening to different organizations. They might have like, it was a collaborative effort. So sometimes they have good ideas. So we took it and we pivot. So and also you have to make sure that whenever there is a risk, you identify it quickly. You have to fail fast. I think that's the new norm buzzword here, right? So you fail fast, and then you actually try to change the course of your like modernization journey. So that was
great.
one of the things.
Yeah, great. So I've never been hooked off a stage before, and we're getting the 1-minute warning. So, so just a couple of acknowledgments. I don't know if you guys, I know you guys put the slide together.
So we wanted to acknowledge the Volkswagen Group of America management for being able to see what our vision was since some years ago, being able to acknowledge that it was a decision that the organization required, and that we were able to put the investments in the place where we needed them to be successful at it. Also, all the help from the Red Hat team, Athena from our account team, Chris, Brandon or Tam, and overall our global team as well. So we appreciate a lot the help that we're getting from the support in that side.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Rafael and Arun also from GitOps team. I'm working with them on a POC, so they are also very helpful.
Great.
knowledge.
I think that's all we had. Oh, is that a question? All right. Can we take a question? Yep. All right. Go for it. Oh, it's on the left here by the speaker.
Over there.
Bye.
Thank you for sharing your journey to modernization. Just a quick question. In terms of application rationalization, can you go through the process? I imagine that Volkswagen is pretty big. Like, how is the process? You mentioned about going through Java first, but as a whole, do you have a categorization of where you pick to be the first candidates for modernization? Because I imagine something like a big application, like assuming you use SAP or Workforce in the cloud, but a big application that's off the shelf is probably not a good candidate for containerization. So what is your application rationalization process?
I get it. So you're right. We did take the first complex application basically to go to OpenShift. What is our rationalization? I think we put in one of the slides, right? So basically, the first thing we want to do is to make sure our strategy is to cloud first. So basically, we want to re-platform this application. See if this application can be supported in the cloud. Does it have any data gravity issues or any other business processes that has to be attached to that, right? If that fails, then we go to the next hybrid cloud. I think a lot of companies, they went with the cloud and they have to come back to a hybrid cloud model. So the selection criteria is based on 4 different aspects. I think the functional complexity, what is this? I mean, one of the things that takes more score is like if there is a technical debt in the application, right? Or there is vulnerability in that application and needs to be fixed, then that takes precedence.
Yeah, one of the things I was going to mention with Conveyor, I mentioned that project, is there's actually a centralized application inventory where you can add applications and you can assess them with a human-based assessment that's completely customizable for an organization, and then you could add on the static code analysis, and then we're working on other add-ons around that as well. So we definitely see the need for kind of an open source tool that helps you rationalize your application portfolio and then gives you rules-based modernization as well.
And also, I think it's important to take into consideration where your user is at, where he should be reaching the application from. Like, for us, it will be a final user, it will be a dealer, it will be a corporate user. And which kind of data does it need? Is something that is on some sort of data lake, it is on some database or something like that.
Yeah. Great.
Well, just a follow-up.
All right, we'll be around. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, just a quick one. Follow-up question. Of all I'm assuming you guys did the inventory of applications. What's the total count? And as of today, how many have been containerized?
Let's say 20% of them. We cannot say exact numbers, but let's say 20% of them.
We said close to 100 as the first group, and then 20% is already taken with a complex application that has SAP.
Yeah.
I was supposed to not tell that, but since you ask.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.